Go subscribe to him.
Yeah! Yeah! This video is gonna... That was bad. Yeet! Who slept with who? Oh, whole fat. Black guy don't die in this video. Yes! Yes! Oh! What's good? What's up? Excuse me. Smiling Man, the Smiling Man animated. So y'all know I roast these horror stories. I don't roast them, but I make fun of them. I crack some jokes. Mostly because I can't be afraid if I'm laughing.
It's that simple. It sounded a little bit complicated.
You're welcome. Instagram link, Twitter link, donation link in the description below. Check out my roast rant playlist. Check out my skit playlist. I've been dropping some skits lately. I'm dropping some roast rants. I hope y'all like them. Please check them out, please. I need help. I need support. What else I got? Record yourself watching me. I put you in my videos. I love y'all as usual. Thank y'all so much. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. The Smiling Man. That could mean a lot of things. Actually means, it only means one thing, but I just butchered this whole intro. Why is he smiling? Him smiling can mean a bunch of different things. Most of it's not good. Let's go ahead and get it. Somebody didn't say, hi, how you doing? He made his day. He started smiling. Let's put it down.
About 5 years ago, I lived downtown in a major city in the US.
Sorry.
I've always been a night person, so I would often find myself bored after my roommate, who was decidedly not a night person, went to sleep. To pass the time, I used to go for long walks and spend the time thinking. I spent 4 years like that, walking alone at night, and never once had a reason to feel afraid. I always used to joke with my roommates that even the drug dealers in the city were polite. But all that changed in just a few minutes of one evening.
You know how in those scary movies where they drive out in the middle of nowhere to go camping? And they're like, it's a bunch of people. Why am I holding my hands like this? Anyways, it's like a bunch of people. They go out in the middle of the woods where no one can hear them scream. It's always the same format. It's the same format, that's what I'm trying to say. Bunch of teenagers, horny teenagers, they get your attention by having people have sex in the beginning. And then next thing you know, Jason Voorhees comes out of the water with a machete and he's upset y'all are here. You know, Camp Crystal Lake is what I'm referring to in case you didn't know what I'm talking about. Jason, you know what I'm saying. Friday the 13th, that's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Things like that. But see, in those scenarios, it's people out doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing. They're out, going out places. Not saying you're not supposed to go to the woods, but, you know, don't go to the woods. Anyway, you know, you're out there by yourself. You see, so why, if you're at home playing a game, things could happen, but it's unlikely. They're happening outside at night when you're walking around. That's what I'm trying to say.
It was a Wednesday, somewhere between...
I'm not outside walking around in circles. Let's put it
down. And I was walking near a police-patrolled park, quite a ways from my apartment.
That's all I'm gonna say.
It was a quiet night, even for a weeknight, with very little traffic and almost no one on foot. The park, as it was most nights, was completely empty. I went down a short side street in order to loop back down my apartment when I first noticed him. At the far end of the street, on my side, was the silhouette of a man dancing. It was a strange dance, similar to a waltz, but he finished each box with an odd forward stride. I guess you could say he was dance walking, headed straight for me. Deciding he was probably drunk, I stepped as close as I could to the road to give him the majority of the sidewalk to pass me. The closer he got, the more I realized how gracefully he was moving. He was very tall and lanky and wearing an old suit. He danced closer still, until I could make out his face. His eyes were open wide and wild, head tilted back slightly, looking off at the sky. His mouth was formed in a painfully wide cartoon of a smile. Between the eyes and the smile, I decided to cross the street before he danced any closer. I took my eyes off of him to cross the empty street, As I reached the other side, I glanced back, and then stopped dead in my tracks. He had stopped dancing and was standing with one foot in the street, perfectly parallel to me. He was facing me, but still looking skyward, smile still wide on his lips.
Hell no.
I was completely and utterly unnerved by this. I started walking again, but kept my eyes on the man. He didn't move. Once I had put about half a block between us, I turned away from him for a moment to watch the sidewalk in front of me. The street and sidewalk ahead of me were completely empty. Still unnerved, I looked back to where he had been standing to find him gone. For the briefest of moments I felt relieved, until I noticed him. He had crossed the street and was now slightly crouched down. I couldn't tell for sure due to the distance and the shadows, but I was certain he was facing me. I had looked away from him for no more than 10 seconds, so it was clear that he had moved fast. I was so shocked, and I stood there for some time, staring at him, and then he started moving toward me again. He took giant, exaggerated, tiptoed steps, as if he were a cartoon character sneaking up on someone, except he was moving very, very quickly. I'd like to say at this point that I ran away or pulled out my pepper spray or cell phone or anything at all, but I didn't.
Pepper spray.
I just stood there, completely frozen, as the smiling man crept toward me. And then he stopped again, about a car length away from me, still smiling a smile, still looking to the sky.
What the?
When I finally found my voice, I blurted out the first thing that came to mind. What I meant to ask was, "What the fuck do you want?" in an angry, commanding tone. What came out was a whimper. What the fuck? Regardless of whether or not humans can smell fear, they can certainly hear it. I heard it in my own voice. That only made me more afraid. But he didn't react to it at all. He just stood there, smiling. And then, after what felt like forever, he turned around, very slowly, and started dance-walking away. Just like that. Not wanting to turn my back to him again, I just watched him go, until he was far enough away to almost be out of sight.
Well, y'all tripping.
And then I realized something. He wasn't moving away anymore, nor was he dancing. I watched in horror as the distant shape of him got bigger and bigger. He was coming back my way. He was coming back my way, and this time he was running. I ran too. I ran until I was off the side road and back onto a better lit road with sparse traffic. Looking behind me then, he was nowhere to be found. The rest of my way home, I kept glancing over my shoulder, always expecting to see his stupid smile, but he was never there. I lived in that city for 6 months after that, and I never went out for another walk. There was something about his face that always haunted me. He didn't look drunk. He didn't look high. He looked completely and utterly insane. And that's a very, very scary thing to see.
A jump scare at the end would have got the fudge out of me just now. They would have smooth got me if they wanted to. They'd have, just out of nowhere, I'd have jumped in my chair, bro. It'd have been the funniest thing y'all probably would have ever seen. All right, couple things. One, you're walking around at night by yourself. Okay, why? Okay, one. Two, it's kind of weird. Two, you see a smiling man in the middle of the night, you're walking. It's strange. Crazy drunk, I'm running away. I don't know. I wouldn't be out there, but if I was, let's just say hypothetically, Lorenzo wants to go for a walk in the middle of the night, hypothetically speaking. I go out for a walk at night. I see a dude that like he's dancing and he's smiling. I'm creeped out. Might have my phone in my hand. I ain't got no pepper spray. I don't know. I mean, to each his own. Now, me having a knife, I'm more likely to have a knife than a pepper spray. I mean, let's be real. I keep the thing, or not, you know. I keep the thing on me. Anyway, let me shut you.
Boy, if you don't get...
Anyways, he's walking. He starts walking toward me. Hey, bro, that's not what you want. That's all I usually say. That's not what you want. It usually works. But for some reason, it didn't work. He got closer. we gotta throw hands now. Like the hands are being thrown. I never fought a crazy person before, so I'm pretty sure I'd lose. But I mean, hey, if I was to, I ain't going out weak. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just. And if he'd have ran at me too, I'd have been, man, what's up? Ain't my first time. You ain't the first, you're not the last. You're somebody else getting their ass whooped by Lorenzo been there, pretty much. Or I'm getting my ass whooped. You know, you're right now. That was weird. That was weird. He walked away. Why would he stop walking and turn around and look at the crazy dude? That don't make sense. If I know I'm being followed, I'm gonna start speed walking maybe. If I was afraid, I'm gonna start speed walking, or I'm gonna. If I see him trying to like get closer, I might go into a jog, a little sprint. You know, I'm not stopping in the middle of the street to look. That's just not. Y'all tripping. Then if he ran at me, man, y'all wild. Anyway, hey, like and subscribe. I'm too tired today to do the whole thing. I might do it. Like and subscribe. Check out my skit playlist. Tell me what y'all think about the video first of all. Cause I ain't walking around in the middle of the night for no reason. Just cause I'm bored. Now I'm definitely not gonna walk. Y'all tripping, bro. I don't know who y'all is, but y'all tripping. Period. That's you're asking for trouble if you do something like that. Not necessarily, but it's I don't know. 3 a.m. you walking around at night, something's gonna happen. I mean, come on. Especially if you're black. Anyway. That's crazy! Hey man, I love y'all as usual. Like and subscribe. I'll see you on my next video. Nah, I'm smiling. That's weird, huh?
He didn't look drunk. He didn't look high. He looked completely and utterly insane. And that's a very, very scary thing to see.